Ready. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Aldiana. I'm going to be your therapist today. How are you, Miss Eleanor?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So, is this your first time meeting the therapist?
Um, yes, it is.
Yes. So you don't have any experience before seeing therapist and going through kind of like reviewing your own emotions and issues that you're dealing with.
No, I've never had a therapist before.
Okay, I was just curious. I just wanted to kind of review that with you. So let's start. What brought you here today?
My doctor recommended that I see a therapist for possible anxiety issues.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am.
Okay. So you said possible anxiety issues. Do you feel anxious? Do you have a problem with anxiety?
I don't think I do, but he seems to think that it will be beneficial for me to meet with a therapist to talk about stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about the stuff. What's going on in your life right now? Is anything that is stressing you out?
Um, the only not, I mean, I won't say it's stressing me out because it's stuff that's been going on, but I mean, I do think about a lot about my grandson. Um, he's constantly on my mind. Recently, I just found out that he was involved in heroin and stuff. Um,
Oh,
and I just found out. So it's been bothering me. It's been bothering me for the past. Actually, it's not recently. It's been almost a year now, and
yeah.
I can't get a hold of him
Yeah,
to
it
kind of
must
see
be
what's
hard
going
for
on.
you. It
Yeah,
must be hard for you.
yeah,
Yeah. So you said about a year ago you find it out?
yeah. About a year ago, I found out that he was using heroin,
Hmm.
abusing heroin.
Okay. How did you accept that?
At first, I think I didn't believe it. I kind of was like in a denial state. Like I didn't think he knew about stuff like that, or even how he got it. So I struggled with it. But then over time, like with not being able to get a hold of him, and I think he came. At first, he started coming to visit. Then all of a sudden, he just kind of stopped.
Oh, okay. So, did that make you think that something is wrong if he stopped coming?
Once he stopped coming, that's when I think I realized that something must be wrong, and it must be true that he is using it. My daughter told me before, but I didn't believe it until he stopped coming around.
Okay. All right. Did you try to reach out to him?
I've tried calling him a couple of times. I went to his old apartment where he used to live, and they said he no longer is there.
Mm.
So I don't know exactly where he is, but I have tried calling him a couple of times. His number seems to be still active because his voicemail is still the same, but he just doesn't return my call.
Okay. So, would you say that you're maybe having a hard time now with all of that situation?
Um, I don't know if I would necessarily hard time, but I know I'm struggling with the fact that he's not reaching out to me to figure out what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of more bothersome
Mm-hmm.
to me. But there's nothing I can do at this time.
Right. Did you try to talk to anyone about it?
Um, yeah, I try to talk to my husband about it, but he's more like a typical man.
Mm-hmm.
He says that everything will be fine and he's fine. He's out there doing his thing as a guy. So, it's a guy.
The guys usually do, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Right. I understand. How about your daughter? How is your relationship with your daughter?
My daughter, she comes around to check on us. She don't really, she talks about it a little bit. When I ask her how she's doing, she'll be like, oh, he's fine, but I don't think she don't talk much about it. So I don't know her standpoint as far as how she's dealing, how she feels.
She doesn't share too much information with you.
Correct.
Nor some things that are bothering her, or if she is anxious or not.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, I would like to focus a little bit of, put the focus on something else in here with a few questions. Can you tell me, how is your sleep?
I've
You
been
sleep
sleeping
well?
okay. Usually I have to take my Ativan to kind of help me sleep, but I've been sleeping okay. And once I take it, I think I'll get a good night's sleep. But if I don't take it, then I kind of toss and turn in bed.
Okay. All right. Does that tossing and turning in a bed is actually something like anxiety or nervousness, or just?
Um, I think it's just because I have a lot. I'm just thinking. I think I don't know. I I don't want to say if it's anxiety per se, but I guess my mind's just wandering all over the place.
Okay. How long have you been taking Ativan?
I've been taking Ativan for a while now, for a good while. Um, I take it only when I need it. The doctor told me don't take it if I don't need it because he doesn't want me to become
Right.
addicted to it.
Right.
So I
Right.
only take it when I really need it. But I've been on it for for a good over 5 years.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's been a while now. And you mentioned that your doctor told you to come and start with therapies. Is there any particular reasons why did you go to the doctor? Is there anything physically wrong with you?
I was having a lot of fatigue symptoms. So my doctor did like a lot of blood work and tests and stuff. And he said everything looked good. All my blood work looked good. All my tests that he did looked good. So there was nothing medically wrong with me. So that's why he realized I might be other like anxiety issue
Right.
going on. So that's why he said I should come.
You should come. Okay. Now, I would like to ask you this. In compare with a year ago, when you find out that your grandson is using a heroin, is there anything different in terms of you, your opinion, your behavior, your emotions? Is there anything different than before?
I think I kind of stay by myself more now. I don't go out and do things like I used to. Um, I usually just grab a quiet book, stay at home, do my wifely duties, and that's about it. Once in a while, I'll go walking.
Um, do you still enjoy doing certain things that you did before, or you kind
Not
of
really. Like I said, I just kind of grab a book, sit on my patio. Before I used to do a lot of community volunteer work, but I cut that down a lot. I don't do it as much as I used to.
Why not?
I guess I don't want to be around people so much. Because I don't, then it will lead into conversations that I don't want to initiate.
You just don't want to kind of share things that are bothering you with other people that they might gonna Am I
Yeah,
gonna
I don't want to share if like with my like example, my grandson. I don't want people knowing about it, so I try not to.
Right.
I just kind of talk on the surface. I want my girlfriend try asking me if anything's wrong, if I'm depressed, and I said no, I'm not depressed. But then I just kind of leave it like that. I don't really talk about it much.
So you kind of like just keep things for yourself, and you're trying to resolve on your own. Well, sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes that can take a toll on a person trying to resolve everything on your own. It's consuming a lot of energy. That could be
Yeah,
one of the
it
reasons
it it,
why
it
you're
can.
self-esteem.
Yeah, it definitely can consume a lot of energy, and that's what my doctor made me to realize that maybe all of what I'm thinking about is related to my grandson.
Right. So before you came here, what did you expect from this therapeutic session? What did you expect from me? Did you have any expectations, any goals?
Well, I don't, like I said, it's my first time with being seeing a therapist. So I guess trying to figure out if I am if I do really have anxiety and
Mhm.
how to go about helping or resolving that issue.
Mhm. And what do you think, what would be something that will help you to resolve this? Do you have anything in your mind?
Just learning how to deal with everything and how to deal with the anxiety and how to go about handling the situation with my grandson. If there's any suggestion or ways to, I can not think about it, but I doubt it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Have you maybe go to talk to any of addiction specialists, people who are more into that area that can give you some tips how to reach out to your grandson and how to help him?
Um, I haven't reached out to any of those places yet. I did look up some stuff on the internet um, a couple times, but
Mhm.
I just never haven't pursued it yet.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that would be a good idea, maybe to talk to someone who is more specialized in addiction and how to approach the person who is addict?
Uh, prob- Probably. My friend, I know my one friend. I told her a little bit here and there, but she did suggest that I should look into some kind of therapy, some kind of group, um, addiction group to help for family members.
Right. Like a group therapies that you can share, basically where the people sit together and they share their issues, but then there's a mutual understanding because most of them going through the same thing. And as much as I understood from this interview, that you do struggle with misunderstanding of your close ones, your husband and your daughter is also, she's visiting, but you're not that close to share all of that information with her. um, am I correct?
Yeah, I'm not. We're my daughter and I. We don't really talk um, about it very much,
Mm,
and so I'm pretty much left with trying to figure out on my own on how to deal or handle the situation.
okay. All right. um, Also, I would like to suggest a few things before we wrap up this therapeutic session. It would be for you, until we see each other next time, I think the good idea will be to seek some therapy, group therapies, some more information how to reach out to addict and how to get closer to them. Those are therapists and people who are more specialized in that area. I would be happy to see you next time so we can talk a little bit more about your anxiety in general and how to deal with that. And we have some steps how to talk yourself out of the anxiety, and we'll see.
Okay.
That will be it.
All right. Thank you. All
Thank you. I'll see you next time.
right. See you next time.
Now it's your
Okay.
turn.
Hi, Miss Eleanor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I understand that you're in, you came here today because you're having some anxiety, fatigue issues,
Yeah.
and it might be related to possibly some anxiety issues.
Yeah. Basically, I had some, recently I had some issues of experiencing fatigue where I did go to hospital several times. And every time when I go, they say everything is fine. So my doctor suggested to me to come and start maybe with therapies and see maybe it's related to anxiety, which I do experience frequently.
Okay, okay. And then now, once you had a bunch of blood work and everything was fine, correct?
Everything was fine. Mhm.
Okay, so you, let me to understand that your primary care doctor encouraged you to come here.
Yes.
Okay, and how do you feel about doing a therapy session?
I wasn't really sure, when I was coming here, how should I feel about all of this? I was just thinking in my head, okay, let's just give it a try.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad you took upon yourself to kind of come here and give it a try. And I think it's a good idea for you to come and just at least talk about stuff and see what's going on. So it's not a bad thing. A lot of people do therapy sessions um, and find out it's been very beneficial for them. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me before we continue, let me just make you to understand that I clinically I have the degree and ethically I'm in with a body of psychiatry board. So everything we talk about will be confidential and it will stay right here except for in circumstances where you want to hurt yourself or anybody else, then unfortunately I will have to report that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had mentioned that you were feeling a little anxiety. What's going on with that? Tell me a little bit more.
Well, lately I've been very anxious. So I even had some different medications and I tried all kind of medicines. It didn't work. I have been taking Ativan, 0.5 mg if I need for a long time now, for about 20, 30 years for now. I did not use that frequently before as much as I use it now. I do need help falling asleep, and I do feel kind of like anxious, and I just feel that nervousness inside of me that I think it's only Ativan that is helping me now. I tried some other medications and nothing works.
Okay. So is this your first time doing a therapy session with us?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Um, within the last year, has anything changed to increase your level of anxiety that brought you here today?
Yeah, well, about a year ago, I find out that my grandson is started using drugs, and he is on heroin. That really broke my heart, basically, because I really like that now young guy whom I raised. Basically, I helped my daughter to raise him up, and I just cannot comprehend. I just cannot understand all the things that is going through my head. Is why is he doing this, and what's going to happen to him,
So
and
it
all
sounds like you're really struggling with what's going on with your grandson, with
right.
him, the drug situation,
Mm-hmm.
and how are you overall? How have your behavior changed within the last couple of since you've found out about that?
Well, I do kind of, besides that, I feel that fatigue is kind of like I don't have much joy. I don't feel much joy anymore.
Okay.
I feel very nervous. At times, it's a little bit less, but then sometimes to the point that I cannot fall asleep. So I have to take medications to help myself fall asleep. And all of that is, I think, caused by the situation that he is in. And I just keep thinking about it all the time and going through my head, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything that we did that is there any mistakes that we did? I did, my husband, my daughter.
So it sounds like you're kind of frustrated and blaming yourself for the situation with your grandson.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. It's just trying to, you're just trying to get some answer. And
Okay.
in search for answer, you just kind of put all possibilities out there.
Okay.
So
So have you tried talking to your husband or your grandson, your daughter about it?
I did. I talked to my husband and he would listen to me, but that's about it. He's not really, man are just like that. And they process everything different way. They don't have, they do have emotions, but he doesn't put them much. It doesn't bother him that much as much as it bothers me.
And what
So,
about your daughter?
and my daughter, I do talk to her. She comes and visits at times. She is very upset. She
Okay.
worries a lot. She comes over and she cries sometimes. But I always do feel that it's like she does not say it all. She does not reveal all what she feels or
And
all
how do
what
you feel about that?
that is an additional burden on me because then I
Yeah.
worry about her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I have double. And I feel sometimes so exhausted about thinking about two of them.
What do you do? Is there any extracurricular activities or ways that you have come up, what you have done to help you with, with to cope with some of this stuff that's going on?
Not really lately. I really
Okay.
don't
What
feel
do you
that
do for fun?
not much.
Nothing at
Because,
all?
yeah, it's kind of like um I guess because I'm sad
Okay.
and I feel like that and nervous. I just feel I want to curl up and stay in a bed and not to go anywhere. Before I was doing that, but now I feel kind of like more and more not really willing to do anything, not really willing to go anywhere and do some fun stuff as I used to did. So
Okay. So during this therapy, it sounds like you're going through a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration, and not knowing how you want to deal with that. So in the process of our therapy, part of what I'm going to try to do is try to get you to do a lot of breathing mechanism and kind of some behavior cognitive stuff. And I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go through the sessions, okay? But
mhm,
what I'm going to do is have you just kind of take a couple of breathing exercises right now with me, okay? Take a
mhm.
deep breath in and then out. Yeah, that's good. Do it one more time and then out.
This feels so good.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose because eventually we'll try to get you to the place where we want to be able to handle those anxiety when they do when you start feeling stressed out or frustrated or nervous and anxious about stuff, okay?
Right, right.
So let's talk a little bit about your grandson.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit more about him.
Well, he is my only grandson, and
Okay.
I helped my daughter raising him up. So I'm attached to that little boy. He was here with us frequently. I was just taking him places. We had a good time. So yeah, basically I helped raise him up. So as he was growing older and everything, yeah, it is natural that he distanced himself and he does not call or come them much anymore. But even though he will come at least once or twice a month to visit us, and I would enjoy that time. But then that started being less and less, and then I would find out actually that the problem is that he's in drugs, and I am just devastated by that.
So what's definitely, is it the fact that he's not coming around, or is it the drugs part of it? What's going on? How do you feel about all of this situation?
I would say both. But more
Okay.
it's a drug, because I don't know what's going to happen. Reading about that online, everything looks so scary that people very often overdose and pass away due to that. So that would be, just even thinking about that possibility scares me and just makes me so nervous that I, keep thinking about it, that he might gonna actually do something to himself, such as overdose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's both. I miss him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to.
It sounds like he was your heart. He was your everything, and
Yeah,
now he's not there. And I can definitely hear it in your voice that you do miss him.
I
And it's
do.
and it's okay to miss him, and it's acceptable to miss him.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So what about your relationship with your daughter?
I'm okay. Our relationship is fine. Um, we do have talks here and there. She comes over. But I feel that since that problem is now, that's all we talk about, that we have no time to enjoy our time together, enjoy doing things that we did before. It's just,
What are some of the things you guys used to do before?
we would go shopping just like every mother and daughter. We'll go for lunch, we'll go walk, we'll go picnics. She'll come over, we'll cook together. That was the things that we kind of enjoy doing together. And then we will
Okay.
watch shows and, go for concert or
It
theater.
sounds like you really miss that with her.
I do. I do miss that a lot. I
Have
do.
you communicated that with her?
I did. But
Okay.
she also seems not really, I would say not there.
Okay.
It's kind of like she's also very down and not really don't want to do anything. So I try to encourage it. I try to, kind of pull her out and say, let's go, let's do this.
Okay.
But then it was not really successful. And in the same time, I worry about her too, a lot.
In what way?
Well, I worry about her kind of like, what's going to happen to my daughter? She worries about her own son so much.
And it's understandable.
He might going to end up being in depression or such a bad place that
Mm-hmm.
then I have double problem. I have my own daughter who is struggling, how she's going to help herself. That's what worries me. Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anybody else in your network that you can talk to about the situation?
Not really. I try to talk at this place that where my husband and I will live at. Seems like I have no much
Mm-hmm.
people that I can talk to and open about it,
Okay.
because nobody talks about their problems, but I'm sure they all have a problems just like us, just like
All right.
me and my husband. And I'm
That's
sure
right.
they have, also a grandson or somebody in a family who's using drugs, but they don't know about it, or they do, but they don't want to share, they don't want to say. So kind of like I tried, but then I see there's no really people that I can talk to about it. So I
Okay.
just,
Well, that's why we're here, and we're open to you talking to us. Okay. So feel free to talk to and comfortable and to talk to us about anything that's bothering you. Okay.
sure.
Um. So with your grandson, have you called him? Have you reached out to him or friends of his that maybe you can try to figure out where he is?
I did. I tried to call him several times, and basically he's just not returning my calls.
This seems to be a difficult time in your life and a lot of changes going on.
Yes.
And how does those changes making you feel right now?
Very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
All right, let's do some of those deep breathing exercises again, because you seem to be tensing up. There we go. Close your eyes, deep breath.
Oh, it feels
Out.
so good.
Okay. So, do you have any relationship with other people in the community?
I do. I do have some friends that I see occasionally and
Okay.
talk. But you know how is it? Everybody has their own things to do. So if I can, I reach out to them, and if they can, we go somewhere for lunch or so, just to try to kind of do something a little bit good for myself, you know.
And when was the last time you did something good for yourself?
It's been a while now, but I have to kind of, I would say, pull myself together and call my friend and go out for lunch or something and try to not to think too much about him. There are certain things in my life that I can control, but there are certain things I can't. So I just have to kind of work through this somehow.
What areas of your life do you feel like you can control and not control?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. First of all, you can't really control your emotions. That's the first thing. It's really hard. But I can control things that they might gonna lead to certain emotions. Like if I call my friend and if I go for lunch, maybe I'm gonna feel better.
Okay. And have you taken up that opportunity to do that in the last couple weeks?
No, not really.
Overall, how are you sleeping?
I'm okay sleeping if I'm taking medication. If I'm taking medications, if I don't, I have a hard time because I'm feeling anxious and I start, going through my mind about him and about my daughter, about all of this.
So you feel like you need the medication right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Your husband, how does he feel about everything that's going on?
He is kind of like, closed up too. He doesn't talk about much. I
Okay.
guess he has his own way of coping.
Okay.
He doesn't talk about them much.
And how does that make you feel?
Well, sometimes mad, sometimes angry, because how can you not to talk about this with me? Like, you know what I
Do
mean?
you feel like he's obligated to talk to you about what's going on?
No, maybe I just don't understand him. How come he doesn't talk about that? So that's why.
Okay. And have you ever tried finding other ways or means to reach out to people? Because from my experience and what I've known, there have been a lot of resources in the community with people that have for family members that have people with addictions.
Mm-hmm.
Have you reached out to any of those organizations or groups that?
No, not yet.
Okay. That I wouldn't think, I would think that would be some other places to try to reach out to as well.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of organizations and group out there that can help family members to deal on how to deal with situations with family with drug addictions. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So eventually we'll work on trying to find some of those things, resources that you can connect with as well. Okay.
Sure.
So I'm stuck. So for the time being, I'm sorry.
Is your time over?
For the time being, we'll go ahead and end this session. The next session, we'll explore a little bit more about the cognitive therapy and trying to talk a little bit more about what's going on with your grandson, okay?
Sure.
Thank you for taking the opportunity to sit with me today. And if it's okay with you, I would like us to continue more sessions. How would you feel about that?
Oh, I would love to.
All right, Miss Eleanor. I'll see you next week for our next section, okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.